afternoon and welcome to a massive day's racing. We start up at Eagle Farm for the Victory Stakes, where we'll see Private Eye in action. Can he bounce back from his TJ flop? Brenton Abdullah to take the ride there at Sandown, the anniversary bars, where we'll see Lady of Honour in this listed event for Team Hayes. They are absolutely flying. At the moment at Rose Hill Gardens, we're racing on a very soggy, boggy track, but we get to see a fan favourite in Democracy Manifest race over the 1400 metres, and it is a sad day at Morphettville. We will have the running of the Australasian Oaks, but we will also pay tribute to the late and great Dean Holland, who we lost earlier in this week. The whole racing community in mourning. Richo, as I welcome you to our coverage after we lost a real character of the sport a few days ago. It's been a tough few days.
It certainly has. Hello, Speedy. Great to be with you. Well, I just think about Dean Holland and I just have a smile on my face because that's what he was like. He was this incredible personality. So his passing has just rocked all the jockeys all around Australia. In fact, all around the world. There's even a moment's silence for him at races at Punchestown in Ireland. So he will be remembered today and he will be remembered forever.
We welcome Bruce McAvaney for the afternoon. Bruce, it's been a really tough few days, but it was great to see Dean get this victory on In Secret not too long ago.
It was, and we had the chance to chat to him that day. I mean, look, it was a shocking day on Monday, and it's been a terrible week, we know that, but the one thing that I think gives us hope is the rally behind Dean and his family, and what we've seen since, and Richo's just mentioned, that it's not just here in Australia, but it's all around the world. So it's been so difficult, and he leaves the nightmare, doesn't he? 4 young children, a young wife, and of course a mum and dad that are steeped in racing. He'll be remembered today all around the country with that minute's silence in Adelaide at Morphettville. Rest in peace, Dino. And today, well, we've got a terrific meeting, haven't we? We've got the 63rd of the 74 Group 1 races being run in the country, and that's the Australasian Oaks, the Victory Stakes, Queensland Guineas, big money for those at Group 2, terrific lead-ups to other races coming up in Queensland, other big races in Adelaide, and of course the beefed up meeting at Sandown today because we didn't have racing on Anzac Day because of Dean's passing, with the St Leger in particular and the Anzac Day Stakes, and we have got a feast of racing. But you've got a track that's struggling a bit there, and I'm wondering, I think that helps my first horse today in Democracy Manifest. He's good in the ground, he's good in any ground I think, but the heavy track won't worry him at all. He's on the rise. Cardinal Jim needs to win today, the anniversary Vars, to get to the Stradbroke. He's got a big weight, I think he can. 𝚑𝚝𝚝𝚙 was outstanding first up. I know he's in Richo's black book. I think he'll win today. And Party Princess gives Leon McDonald, Andrew Glewis and Jason Holder a real chance of doing something the South Australians don't do too often, and that's win the Australasian Oaks. And I reckon on a day like today, guys, a hometown victory in that race will go down really well.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more, Bruce. So beautifully put, and we will remember Dino all throughout the day to come. But let's take you down to Sandown, where sunny conditions down there.
The hour cometh the legend! Pleasure to be with you here at Sandown today for an extended program of 10 races with the running of the Anzac Day Stakes and St Leger program brought forward to today. Of course, there's a real cloud of sadness across racing in Victoria at the moment as we remember the great life and career of Dean Holland, who was such a lovely young man taken too soon, and we pay tribute to him today. And maybe a small omen is the name of I think a horse that's going to be hard to beat in the Anzac Day Stakes in Legacies, who is running in race number 5 on the program. This is a horse for you to watch. It was a really good win at Cranbourne. She wanted to overdo it a little bit early, but Luke Nolan was able to get her to just settle up there on the speed. I think she'll get the right run today. She'll have further maturity from that performance at Cranbourne, and she looks to be above average. Legacies in race number 5 on the program. Hope you find plenty of winners from Sandown, and we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Thank you very much, Matt. So, Richo, who has got the best book of rides at Sandown?
Melbourne Cup winning jockey Jai McNeil for mine. So there are 4 key rides, including Roaring Engine in the St.
It's the filly In Secret holding on. In Secret won the Newmarket.
Look, it's an emotional win for myself as well. I haven't had a Group 1 winner since 2009, and it's not even a Group 1 anymore back in South Australia. So the last 3 years I've had 4 babies. Me and my partner have had 4 babies, and I've got a good mentor coach in James Winks, and I just feel like my career's starting to head in the right direction now, and all you need is a bit of luck like this sometimes.
It's hard to watch, isn't it? He had the world at his feet, and of course that day Jamie had been injured along with Craig Williams, and Dean got the ride on In Secret. James Cummings sat in the room with him and they went through all the videos. There was a lot of pressure. He absolutely nailed it. And then he's continued to go on from there, and I honestly feel, and I'm sure you'll agree, Emma and Richo, that he was going to go to another level. There's no doubt about that. That confidence he got out of In Secret, he's always done the hard work, and he leaves behind such a legacy on and off the track. So, yeah, it's pretty hard to watch, isn't it? But it's a big career, guys, and one that we'll always remember.
Oh, I'm finding it a bit difficult right now to talk. To be honest, Bruce is very sad, and I just feel so sorry for his family, his wife and his 4 children. And if you haven't been on the GoFundMe page, go and find it, donate. They need all the help that they can get, but what a great rider.
And a terrific young man too. That ride on In Secret was fantastic, and I had the great pleasure now, the last time I had a chance to chat to him, we sat with each other on the way back from Sydney Cup Day, and he was talking about, Bruce, and this is something that you've touched on. He was chatting to me about how many doors have opened since In Secret won, and how big stables are now talking to him about riding. And because he can ride at 50 kilos, this is not a throwaway comment. It is not beyond the realms of possibility that he could have been a Melbourne Cup winning jockey. Like, you could see him getting rides in all the big Group 1s with a lightweight, because he had the talent and he had the body shape.
See, we jockeys at Eagle Farm and also at Sandown wearing black armbands today to remember their fellow rider, Dean Holland. And the next race at Sandown is named one of 8 races around the country today named in the honour of Dean Holland, and this one at Sandown for the 3-year-old fillies taken out by Jenny Jerome, a great rails hugging ride by apprentice Laura Lafferty, who dropped back in class today from Group 3 to benchmark 70 grade, and that was the absolute trick, plus the 3 kilo claim. Here she is after winning the Varley Dean Holland.
Laura Lafferty grabs a 4th Metro win of the season aboard Jenny Jerome here in the 3rd event of the afternoon. And Laura, a filly who's been to a much higher grade than this, and looks like the 5 weeks between runs certainly agreed with her. Could you get a sense of that race fitness perhaps kicking in late?
Yeah, most definitely. She's a horse that probably wants to go further, so she's done a really good job to loom up and win today. But yeah, it helped with the genuine speed, but she really put away nice. Speaking of helpful that they all rolled off the rail for you. Yeah, I actually walked it, and obviously being earlier in the day too, there's only been 2 races on it, and I don't think there's any part of the track more superior than the other. So I was just laughing when I was able to get the run that I did to the inside.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Great job to Laura on Jenny.
Me and Dean have known each other for a long time. I first met him when I was 17, and I just started race riding as an apprentice, and our friendship sort of grew from there. We eventually moved in together. That was some of the best years of my life. He's not only helped probably turn me into the jockey I am today, he's also helped turn me into the man I am as well. He was just a good, fun person to be around.
Life of the party, funny, like never wanted to go home. Even as much as we'd talk racing day to day, it'd quickly divert off that after we'd spoke. And obviously when you've got kids yourself, and he's got 4 beautiful kids, and that's, you know, where it really starts to hit home.
He'd light a room up pretty easily when you, wherever you would go, he'd be the life of the party, and in a good way though. He was like just such a great guy, and I don't think he had a bad bone in his body. He never really had a bad word to say about anybody, and looking back on some photos and memories of times we've been out together and holidayed together, and he was front and centre at my Bucks party, I can tell you. He was great value.
We've had a number of apprentices over the years, and you know, you do develop a real closeness with them when they've been with you for a number of years. You always hope to see them go on and make great things when they've done their early years here. So yeah, we were just really sitting back and watching him, and yeah, it gave us great pleasure to see how well he was doing.
This has been a sensational run
3 wide all of the way, and Small Minds gives young Holland his first Group 1.
He was a very versatile jockey. He was very, very clean from the machines, and he could assess a race pretty quick, which is a great attribute to have. You can't really teach that. I try to inject it as much as I can with everybody that I do to be able to have that natural instinct, but his results are starting to go through the roof. Just
in the last sort of 12 or so months, things have really come together for him, and in particular, only about 6 weeks ago, he secured a very good ride in the Newmarket Handicap, the #1 sprint race in Australia, and managed to win that.
In Secret holding on, In Secret won the Newmarket.
That was the break he was looking for a long time, and I think, you know, that was the moment where his career was really going to take off.
The best way to describe Dean, I think, I'll say what my father said to me half an hour before In Secret's Newmarket Handicap. He's the most underrated jockey in Victoria. He rode dozens of winners for us, and he was a natural lightweight. He was 4 foot nothing, and he, you know, like he'd come out with just a vest on, no shirt on, and he had muscles on his muscles. So Dean was just a great fella, great attitude.
He was my biggest supporter, and I was his biggest supporter. We used to love seeing each other win races, even though when we were out there, we probably didn't like getting beat by each other, but we were always happy.
Yeah, just a ripping bike. Yeah, good fun, caring, and most importantly, he was just, yeah, he's real solid and loyal.
Quality young human being, and yeah, just a tragic loss.
Oh, that little mischievous smile of his, just going to miss him for a long time.
Magnificent tribute there from our team for Dean Holland, who we lost earlier in the week, and we are mourning today, but also celebrating all of his magnificent achievements on the track. And as we've said throughout the day, Richo, he will be so sorely missed for the years to come.
Just doesn't feel right, does it? It's just it's so hard to sink in. So his funeral will be on Monday week, and it's at Flemington. How appropriate, but also not only because he just had the great Group 1 win with In Secret, but also because they need a massive venue to be able to hold the literally thousands of people that would like to come in. And the racing industry, well, we pause for the day as the ultimate tribute for him. I mean, think about what the VRC and Racing Victoria did. They put back a race meeting and a race that's been over 150 years of history and tradition, and said it's inappropriate for us to race for Anzac Day. It just breaks your heart. And this GoFundMe page has just taken off supporting Lucy.
All that, but more famously is the mum of Anna Moe. So it's got a terrific history, guys. And this was pretty special, Em, a few moments ago.
So jockeys in their race day silks getting ready to ride in the Australasian Oaks with the thoughts of Dean Holland firmly in their minds and in their hearts. Of course, the Australasian Oaks was the first Group 1 that Dean ever rode, and we so sadly lost him earlier this week. There's Craig Williams, understandably really feeling this. It's been a tough week for the industry. All of Dean's family also on course at Morphettville today, and there they are looking incredibly emotional. His grandmother, really missing her grandson today, as we all are. It's been an awful week, but wonderful that they could get on course today and support an industry that has supported them and will continue to support them through this incredibly tough time.